Chapter 577. It wasn't just the legal scholars, including Marcia, who doubted Kishir's words. Even Yadar, who had somewhat anticipated what Kishir might do when meeting the scholars, was taken aback by his unexpectedly bold statements. He intends to create laws concerning awakeners so quickly? Is that even possible? In his previous life, new rules and laws were only incrementally added when Yudhir and his cavalry returned from accomplishing a task or when an incident related to awakeners occurred. In other words, it was extremely difficult to change imperial law unless something significant happened. Sure, regulations concerning the cavalry could be easily amended. However, the weight of imperial law was entirely different. Yudhir had heard that while it was easy to add exceptions to existing clauses, creating entirely new ones was incredibly challenging. Of course, I had planned to discuss legislation at some point, just not now. Yet, Kishir was not someone who would recklessly plunge into the impossible. If he believed it could be done now, then perhaps it was better to do it sooner than later. Yes, the issue might simply be that we have fewer cavalry members and our influence is somewhat weak right now. Both will be resolved soon, and the Emperor is back in good health to back us up. While being weak posed its own set of challenges, growing too powerful would also attract various forms of containment. Their current moderate status might actually be the ideal time to act. But that's my perspective. The real question is whether those legal scholars will help. The scholars appeared stunned by Kishir's audacious proposal. Seeing Marchio's trembling eyes, Yudhir took a step forward, ready to intervene should Marchio charge at Kishir. However, Marchio remained calm. The stern-faced scholar wiped his face a few times and then asked a single question. So, exactly what kind of law do you wish to implement, Your Highness? Kishir smiled as if he had been waiting for that question. Excellent. Here is the draft of the target legislation I have diligently prepared, along with a list of cavalry regulations to support it. When did he even prepare this? Yudhir narrowed his eyes, unaware that Kishir had bought such documents while they dined and travelled here. Marchio, who had begun reading the paper, also frowned considerably. The focus appears to be on laws related to the treatment of awakeners. We have sufficient case examples from the activities of the cavalry, which makes drafting this new legislation feasible. All you scholars need to do is compile the justifications and help with the submission. Compiling justifications is easier said than done. Provisions related to the heat period of second gender awakeners, marital arrangements, and child rearing and inheritance could face significant opposition. You are aware, of course, that even after submission to the council, there will be countless hurdles before the new laws can be finalized. The temples and the mage guild also have to review and approve. Wait, is he passing LGBTQ rights already? My man Kishir with the future thinking. Amazing. I have never realized this. Upon hearing the issues Mauricio pointed out, the other legal scholars began to murmur amongst themselves, all wearing serious expressions. I know, don't worry, I won't leave all of this in your hands. This is something we are starting with adequate preparation. Mauricio wiped his face again as he glanced around the other scholars. Their eyes met, as if they were reading each other's thoughts. It was as though they each possessed some uncanny ability to do so. After a considerable pause, they all seemed to come to a decision, bowing their heads in unison. Since you have all prepared to have made up your minds, what more can this old man say? Just know that this will be a difficult battle. Isn't every battle related to the law a difficult one, Marchio? Remember your own words? Those were the words I spoke to the young prince who came here, frustrated by the abundance of do-nots and wanting to change things. Marchio's words carried weight, but not like a thorny sharpness. Despite knowing the comment was directed at him, Kishir's expression remained unchanged. He smiled. When Emperor Aklan, the second emperor, reformed the laws concerning mages, he also faced significant opposition. But he accomplished it, and that law is now permanently embedded in the empire, accepted by everyone as a matter of course. If precedent matters, then we are already halfway there, don't you think? It's a battle worth fighting. Things are different now. Still, the situation itself is quite similar, creating new legal categories for people who didn't exist under previous laws. Awakeners already exist, and their numbers will only grow, not shrink. Right now, young people moving toward the future, children yet to be born, could become new awakeners. As the commander of the cavalry and an awakener serving His Imperial Majesty, I believe it's unjust to let them live in the empire without even the smallest fence of law to guide them. The smallest fence of law, a phrase Yudhir had never heard before, but somehow it struck a chord in him. Marchio too seemed to soften his stern expression for the first time, lowering his furrowed brows. An unusually long sigh escaped his lips. You are as compelling as ever, whether it was when you asked for help in setting up regulations for the cavalry or now. It's impossible for old men like us to refuse you. All right, you have my support. Thank you. You are the ones I trust the most. Marchio received the thanks half-heartedly and soon disappeared, as if eager to put distance between himself and Kishir. Yet Yudhir's perception of him had changed slightly from their first meeting. The legal scholars here worked on thankless tasks with fatigued faces, but before the work they needed to do, they never revealed any trivial emotions. It was no ordinary feat to maintain their composure when confronted with the prospect of creating new laws related to the second gender awakeners. I remember he said he's been helping with regulations since the cavalry was first established. Yudhir felt he understood why Kishir chose to address this issue first. Legal scholars rarely give a definite opinion on anything. They said it would be difficult, but they didn't say it would be impossible. Don't worry, they are all people who love legal texts more than anyone else. I bet they are now quite excited to dig up old laws and precedents. Kishir spoke, perhaps mistaking the reason Yudhir continued to gaze in the direction Mauricio had disappeared. I wasn't worried. Is that so? Although it may seem rushed, I'm beginning to think that now might actually be the right time. That's good to hear. By the way, when did you find the time to write all of that? Didn't you say you slept well last night? Creating the legislative plan wasn't particularly difficult. I have been contemplating it in my head for some time. Knowing what to write made the rest simply a matter of speed. It didn't sound like a lie. Given the circumstances, it was entirely possible. But what is this? This subtle feeling? Yudhir gazed intently at Kishir. In response, Kishir squinted his eyes, seemingly pleased by the attention, but the feeling dissipated as quickly as it had come. Marchio has been here since the days of the previous emperor. He is a reliable scholar in jurisprudence. Probably the only scholar you can trust not to toy with legal interpretation are him and the scholars here. That's why I came here, he said. Yudhir recalled an impactful sentiment he'd heard earlier. You said the law is the smallest fence. Ah, yes, that's a quote from Eloto, a famous scholar in jurisprudence whom Marchio admires. I cited it on purpose. Kishir grinned, pleased with himself. Indeed, I have never thought of the law that way, so I found it quite insightful. Law can't determine everything, but a house with even the minimum fencing is different from one without. Of course, how well you maintain and protect that fence also matters. A fair point. A house with a well planned fence from the start was certainly different from ones where boards were hastily hammered in only after an accident occurred. Either found this fact extremely satisfying. I apologize for my late arrival, Your Grace. Hebraina Freiflang, the current High Minister of the Or Empire, appeared with a face twice as weary as any scholar's. After exchanging greetings, she immediately downed a cup of black tea that her aides had bought, exhaling as if she'd barely escaped death. The first thing she said was an expression of heartfelt gratitude and goodwill toward Yudhir. It's an honor to meet the famous Baron Ale here. I regret not being able to thank you at the last party due to unforeseen circumstances. Did you happen to receive my gift? Since returning to the capital, the invitations and gifts that had poured into Yudhir was mostly being screened by Kishir. Still, he had shoved most of the gifts that passed muster was a drawer without another glance. It seemed the High Minister's gift was among them. But I can't tell her that. Yes, thank you. Your contributions in the West have significantly reduced the workload for our administrators. Had that monster invaded a town or city, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Please find the gift useful. It was sent with sincere gratitude. Yudhir thought he should probably look for the High Minister's gift as soon as he returned. Fortunately, the High Minister did not dwell on the subject of gifts and got straight to the point. I received your letter this morning requesting assistance in selecting locations for branches across the empire. That's right. If you could specify the areas, I will notify the local administrators in advance. I can't guarantee everyone will offer the help you desire, but that's more than enough. Very well then. The conversation flowed, each participant carefully choosing their words as they delved deeper into the intricate worlds of law and governance. The High Minister was a person of swift decisions. After spending a good while exchanging stories with Kishir about the officials dispatched to the West for inspections, she casually brought up the topic of new laws, something Kishir had earlier discussed with the legal scholars. The High Minister showed no particular reaction, but neither did she visibly oppose the idea. It was difficult for Yudhir to discern what she was thinking as she listened to Kishir's words. As the current High Minister, I really can't tell. In his previous life, she didn't last long after Emperor Kashtian, and we never had the chance to meet, Yudhir thought. Although she hadn't worked under Emperor Kashtian for long, it was hard to assert that she was truly loyal to the current emperor. The atmosphere between her and Kishir was strictly professional, which only intensified that impression. However, Kishir stood from his seat with a satisfied smile as if that were enough for him, signaling that their meeting had come to an end. I apologize for taking up your busy time. Not at all. A cordial yet political smile exchanged between the two, marking the end of their meeting. Yudhir carefully asked as he followed Kishir, who was climbing onto a carriage headed for the next destination. Will the High Minister truly support the new law? Kishir responded, That's not a bad response. She is the one who has most keenly felt the need for a cavalry due to the recent events. So, getting her support shouldn't be difficult. However, it's a bit unfortunate that she seems to have taken quite a liking to you in the process. Ooh, are you jealous, Kishir?